having undergone 2 successful pregnancies and normal deliveries, I've never really had any serious sickness. The most I've ever gone through is, like a sore throat. So when I was taking insurance last year, the priority really was outpatient because of the kids, and also for me, for the occasional sore throat and everything. But inpatient, of course, yes, for the kids, I thought, okay, yeah, inpatient, which amount? But for me, it was a sense of, yeah, I've never been hospitalized. So, I just ticked whatever amount there was. And then shock on me. I just woke up one day and both legs had muscle pulls, and my ankles were aching and my 2 wrists also were aching. So it was a time, we had really been working a lot and everything. So I thought maybe I was pushing myself too much. Went to the clinic. They gave me a few painkillers. And by the next morning, everything had stopped aching except for my left leg and muscle pull. So I would wake up in the morning and you know those muscle pulls which you feel it's there, but then you just chill kidogo and then it goes. Mine stayed and could only be eased by taking of medication. So again, being a working mom, what did I give priority to? Work. No, I'll go and see a specialist soon. Yeah, no, let me just finish work. No, we just have to do this shoot. I just need to can this show, do what. And by the time that was happening, Easter came. And there was no specialist available over Easter. Plus, we went to Ushago now as the families. And I did what you're not supposed to do when you have a blood clot in your leg. Troubled, cramped leg for many hours in the car. In fact, there were 2 kids balancing on my leg and my body. All the wrong things. Went to Shags, walked up and down the hill. Yeah. So by the time basically Easter was over, got back to Nairobi, my leg was already swollen. It was just paining like crazy. I was now surviving on a double dose of painkillers. So went into the clinic and they said, okay, fine, we will refer you to a specialist. But the specialist was closed for that day. So again, another 24 hours passed. By the time I went to see the specialist, he just basically looked at my leg. It was about 1.5 inches. My left leg was about 1.5 inches bigger than my right by that time. And the way to test for deep vein thrombosis, with the back of your hand, if you touch your skin, it's actually hot, warm to hot, but basically much warmer than the leg that is okay. And he measured it, and it was, even the color had already darkened. So he sent me, just to verify, he sent me to a clinic to get a Doppler ultrasound, which is basically where they look at the legs using an ultrasound inside, and a chest x-ray. Now, at that time, I didn't understand. For me, one reason why I was taking this so lightly was I thought, as most women do, miguu imevimba. It just means maybe I'm wearing the wrong shoes, I'm walking around too much. We have arthritis in our family, so I thought, early onset arthritis. Okay, here it comes. So initially when I had gone to the clinic, I told them, check my calcium, my potassium. We play doctor. Yeah, my calcium, my potassium levels, my blood, but everything was clean. So when the doctor sent me for these tests, the x-ray and the Doppler, I couldn't understand why. So I went in very relaxed, and then the radiologist, her mood just changed after she looked at my leg. And I said, okay, so what have you found? She said, Janet, you have a blood clot in your leg. When are you going to see the doctor? I said, by now he's closed. I'll go see him tomorrow morning. So she's like, it's very urgent, very important. You must see him first thing in the morning, okay? Because you have deep vein thrombosis. I'm like, huh? What? What's that? Yeah, so I left it at that. So I went home, and my mom had really been pushing. My mom and my sister, because they're both in the medical field, so they were really asking what's going on. So I couldn't get them on the phone, and I just texted and said, hi, yeah, they found a clot in my leg, which is inhibiting the flow of blood. So it's called something called DVT. In the morning, I woke up, there were so many calls and messages from them. They said, as soon as you wake up, you call us. So I called and I said, okay, hi, yeah, so what's going on? They're like, Kanini, how are you? I said, yeah, no, the leg is still big. Can barely walk. I was just now limping everywhere. And then they said, if anything, you should be in hospital right now. I said, why? This DVT, I read about it. See, it's caused by if you fly long distance many times, if you sit for long periods of time. I don't do that. If anything, I have 2 jobs, so I'm perpetually moving up and down. They said, Kanini, no, this is very, very serious. When are you going to see the doctor? I said, okay, he opens at around lunchtime. So in the morning, I just need to go into NTV. I need to read a script because editing has to go on. You know, again, work as usual. Then I had a photo shoot for Pampers diapers. So again, I limped. With my change of clothes and my makeup, I limped to all those venues. Then after that is when I finally made it to the doctors. The doctor took one look at my scans. At least my chest at that time, it was clear. He told me, Kanini, just sit down. In fact, that leg, you know what? Just walk very slowly. So I'm asking him, okay, now why? He said, you have this thing called deep vein thrombosis, okay? And it's a very serious condition. So I said, yeah, okay, fine. Then just give me drugs. I go to the pharmacy downstairs. I go home and I sleep. What do you want me to do? Bed rest? Fine, I'll go home. I'll just ask for a few days off from work. He said, Kanini, this is not a laughing matter. When I got to hospital is when it hit me, because I've never been admitted for anything other than pregnancy. And you get there and, you know, people are asking for wheelchairs because I'm not supposed to be walking. And that's when I started understanding the dangers of this. DVT, deep vein thrombosis, clots form primarily in the lower limbs. And there are very many reasons for that. I've already talked about you fly frequently, so you're always sitting down, even in the office if you're sitting down too much, or if you're obese or if you're pregnant, because estrogen levels in the blood promote the formation of clots. The danger of the clot is this: it can dislodge, or part of it can dislodge, and the clot travels to your heart and lungs and basically blocks valves and blocks vessels, end up with a heart attack. Most of the times when we hear of people dropping dead, it's because of a blood clot. You hear it was a heart attack, you hear it was a brain aneurysm, but what caused it? A little clot just went and blocked the vessel in the lungs, pulmonary embolism, goes to the brain, blocks again. So finally I started understanding the seriousness of this. I was admitted for 5 nights. Throughout, my leg was just elevated. I was told minimal movement around the room, given medication, and discharged after that time. That was a scary period. I was put on blood thinners and told to come back after 2 months, get a checkup. And I did. And they found that my legs were clear. And during those 2 months, I was wearing I was wearing anti-thrombotic stockings, but which just reached midway to the thigh. So because the clot can form in different places. So since mine was below the calf, I got some very white hospital-looking stockings that I was supposed to wear every day. I could take them off at night, but even when I would go to work, NTV, just cover them with kawaida black stockings and go to work. But of course, for filming, no one ever saw me in those. I couldn't wear stilettos. So put all my nice, high, fancy shoes on the side and wore my pregnancy motherhood shoes instead, my flats. Yeah. But after that treatment, and then of course I couldn't do any serious exercise because the clot, we weren't sure whether or not it was still there, and I could still jog it to travel upstream. So for the 2 months, followed the medication properly, went in, did another Doppler ultrasound, and the clot was gone. Yay, my legs were clear. But for about 10 days before I went to see the doctor, I had started getting breathless. Minimal physical activity. Walking up the stairs in my own house, I couldn't even carry my daughter because I would reach up the stairs and I would lie down like I don't know, I had just run a marathon or something. It was crazy. I was so breathless. My husband would look at me like, what's wrong? You're sweating and you've just walked up the stairs. So I told the doctor about that and he said, that's very suspicious because you're not anemic. So you must go in and see a cardiologist. Now, this cardiologist, he had already come to see me the first time I was admitted, just to be sure that none of the clot had passed up to my heart and my lungs. And when he checked, he found it was all clear. But when I went back to see him again, on Friday, I was given the clean bill of health. And then on Saturday, my son was admitted because he had an infection. I spent Saturday night with him in a hospital. Sunday, got home. My husband spent Sunday night with him. Monday, I went to see the cardiologist. And the first thing the cardiologist said when he started running the machine over my chest was, Now, when a doctor says, and then the second thing he said was, Janet, did you come with anyone? And I said, no. I mean, look, I'm fine. He said, okay, fine. Anyway, you come sit down. So I sat And, he said, I don't mean to be alarmist, but I have to tell you the facts as they are. You have a blood clot in your heart. So I said, no, that's not possible, because on Friday we did the ultrasound, my legs are clear. Basically, see, my body now is clear. And the dosage which I was on of blood thinners was so high that really it should have cleared any clots from anywhere in my body. So he said that, yes, we need to investigate that to find out exactly why did the clot form in my heart, or is it the one that was in my leg traveled to my heart? I called my sister. Fortunately, she works in the same building. She has a clinic there, because my husband was next door in the hospital with my son, who was admitted. So my sister came, and he just said, look, Janet, you have to be admitted in high dependency unit right now. I said, look, my son is in Hosi. My hubby is there. My daughter is at home with the nanny. Can I at least go and see her so that she at least sees one parent? He said, no.